Hello everybody, this is Money Mom. Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about my 7 tips that help our family not only remain debt-free, but also help us from digging into our savings, since we are working on building 1 year of bills or expenses in our savings, and we don't want to keep digging into it. So I'm going to tell you the 7 tips our family uses that really helps, and I'm thinking you may be able to use some of these tips for you. The first one is, number 1, keep extra in my checking. You guys know, or I think some of you know, I round up my checking and I keep extra money in there. And I don't use it unless I have to. Well, guess what? Obviously in 2020, I needed to. Well, that took care, because I had extra money in my checking, that took care of 1 month of my bills. That way I didn't have to go into my savings. So if, for example, let's say I have a bill that is $62, I subtract 70. Now I know that the bill was only 62, so I keep track of it. But that keeps extra in my checking, and so a lot of times if you do that, after a while, you'll end up with maybe being 1 month ahead, or at least with a few extra $100 in there, and that may help prevent you from going into your savings. One of my friends, by the way, recently mentioned to me that she puts money in savings, but it seems like she always has to go and take the money out. Well, there's things you can do to hopefully at least prevent some of that. Number 2, I'm a month ahead on most of my bills. That also helps me from digging into my savings, and it also helps me if I have a lower paycheck month, because each month I make different amount of money because I'm an independent contractor, so my income can really vary, and so keeping a month ahead of my bills helps me to plan ahead, and that really helps. Number 3, I use the cash envelope system, and I'm going to be making some major improvements to that for 2021. But the one positive thing is this: many times I do have leftover money. And I mentioned this on another video. We recently had to have something fixed in our back shower, and it was it's a friend slash handyman that came over and fixed it, and it was $150 with the materials and labor. And actually that was a good deal, because if I would have hired a plumber to do what he did, it would have definitely been more. Well, I had leftover from my cash envelope system, and so I was able to pay him $150 cash. And what I do is I have my cash envelope system, but I also have a little stash of cash that I always keep a little extra money in. So that way, if I need a little home repair or something of that nature, I don't have to be putting it on a charge card or writing out a check. I can just give them cash. That can really, really help, and it also keeps me from going into debt. Okay, number 4, I have my YouTube fund, which is another source of income, and basically I have a separate bank for that, and any money that I use for that, for example, my furniture, thank you God, is now completely paid off. I paid it off, no interest, in 90 days, it's completely paid. That way, if let's say somebody in the house needs something, let's say we need 4 new tires for the car, I can use that fund for that. And that is a special, what I call, sinking fund for anything our family needs. And so that keeps me from going into our emergency savings. So having a special fund, whatever you would like to call it for that, a special job for that, which brings me to number 5. I have 4 sources of income. Most of you know: YouTube, Patreon, I schedule, and then I also do product demonstrations. So having 4 sources and more than one source of income really helps. Number 6, I also have sinking funds. Example, you guys know our home is paid for. We do have to pay house taxes. And I'm going to say that's about, for that city, county, and school taxes. That's around $325 a month that it adds up to, between $300 to $325. So every time I get paid once a month, I take $325 out of there and I put it in a special savings account that is titled home taxes. So in October and November, when I get those bills, that's already taken care of. I'm not trying to scramble or pull it out of savings. So I treat the sinking fund like a bill, because I know once a year I'm going to have to pay my taxes. Having sinking funds in place for things that you know is coming up can really be a game changer. And number 7, last but not least, planning ahead. I'm always thinking ahead of what's going on. For example, we got some kind of email from Toyota saying, hey, call to see if your car needs serviced. Well, I thought we had just brought it in. Guess what? I called. They said, no, your car's good. You're good for at least, like 90 days. But guess what? At least I'm planning ahead, so that way I'm not leaving things to the last minute where it all comes up at once. Planning ahead for services and keeping your cars fixed and your air conditioning fixed and heating, medical bills, and being on top of that can really save you money in the long run. These are 7 things that we do. I want to know from you. If any of you are debt-free, or you really work hard on not going into your savings and not, charging things and basically paying cash and living a debt-free lifestyle, I want to hear some tips from you in the comments below. You guys know I love your comments. That's all for now. I love you. I appreciate you. And like I always say, see you on the next video. Bye-bye.